From Deloitte Tax and Legal Japan, welcome to the Japan Perspective. This is a podcast where we speak to specialists from across Deloitte to discuss the latest business issues impacting foreign multinational companies in Japan. I'm today's host, Marie Kodal. Today, we are joined by Takuma Yamamoto-san from the Global Trade Advisory Group in Tokyo to discuss some of the recent developments in global trade. With several countries, including the US, reviewing and revising their foreign trade policies in recent months, multinational companies, including those operating in Japan, could face significant impacts, not only in terms of tariffs, but also in their processes and compliance obligations. Thank you for being with us today, Yamamoto-san. First, what are some of the most important updates in trade and customs?
Thanks for having me, Marie. There are several important updates in trade and customs trends as of today, February 17th, 2025. As you mentioned, the biggest developments are coming from the US. Donald Trump is inaugurated as the US president in January. And short after taking office, he issued a presidential actions which directs federal agencies to conduct broader investigations into trade-related issues, which includes unfair foreign trade practices. And one of the most striking announcements was his plans to impose a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, and also additional 10% tariff on imports from China. The measure that I mentioned was initially set to effect February 4th. However, President Trump later agrees to grant a 30 days extension for Canada and Mexico to allow negotiation to continue.
So this is clearly a rapidly evolving situation, and new developments will most likely be announced in the coming weeks. Outside the US, what are some of the other major trade updates?
Yeah, shifting our focus from the US to Europe, we're seeing similar trends. The Europe has determined to impose additional duty on imports of electric vehicle from China, following the US lead. To give some backgrounds, in 2023, European Commission launched an investigation into imports of battery electric vehicle originally in China. And as a result, Commission has decided to impose a special duty measure called countervailing duty of up to approximately 45% on new battery electric vehicle at the time of import into Europe.
Right, so I expect these measures will have a significant impact on global trade in the coming months. So how should business leaders, particularly those managing supply chains and trade at foreign companies in Japan, stay up to date on those developments and assess potential trade and customs risks?
Yes, foreign business in Japan should closely monitor customs trade, given there is always a possibility that the Japanese government could impose additional duty on top of existing tariff rates. And to navigate these changes effectively, business should evaluate their supply chain strategy and consider utilizing free trade agreements, which is called as FTAs, or economic partnership agreements, EPAs, in order to mitigate potential risk. When it comes to monitoring trade developments, there are two key approaches. The first one is a manual approach. A business can consult reports and official announcements from national authorities. So it is crucial to refer to reliable and also trusted resources, such as government's agency and trade organization, in order to make sure that the information used to make crucial decision is accurate. And also, before implementing the new duty measures, national authority typically issue a formal announcement beforehand. So businesses have some time to prepare. And to address your question regarding how to identify and assess risk, most duty measures are determined based on HS code. So business should review how their products are classified and whether any upcoming tariff changes could impact their operations.
Could you clarify what the HS code is?
Sure. HS codes stand for Harmonized System Codes. The HS score are standardized classification systems, which is used to identify goods in international trades. Every single goods in the world, which is traded globally, is assigned a specific HS score, which is used when filing custom declarations. And when new duty regulations, including tariff, are introduced, governments like these specific HS scores to state which goods are subject to the new measures.
Okay, and you mentioned there are two approaches to staying up to date on customs trends and tariffs. The first being the manual approach, but keeping track of government websites every day sounds quite time consuming. What is the second approach?
Oh, right, sorry, I didn't address the second method. So the second and most effective method are using IT solutions. Deloitte offer a tool called Trade Compass, which helps businesses monitor duty measures and tariff and identify potential risk.
Can you tell us more on Trade Compass and its key features?
Sure. Trade Compass is web-based service which is designed to help user identify FTAs and EPAs they can potentially leverage. And with these tools, a user can quickly look up preferential duty rates under FTAs and also EPAs. And the user can compare them with the MFN, most favored nation rates or standard duty rates. And since rules of origin must be fulfilled in order to be qualified for these preferential rates, the platform also provided access to those rules. And now Trade Compass is expanding the scope of its data coverage, and it will include information on special duty measure, such as countervailing duties, anti-dumping duties, and safeguards. And this allows user to stay informed about regulatory changes and assess potential risk related to involving customs trends.
Thank you very much, Yamamoto-san, for sharing your insights on global trade and customs trends with us today. And we hope companies will find Trade Compass helpful as new developments and policies continue to be announced. And as always, thank you to our listeners. That concludes today's episode of The Japan Perspective. To share your feedback on this podcast, please visit our survey link in this episode's description section. You can find more episodes of The Japan Perspective under Debriefs Asia Pacific on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. Thanks again, and stay tuned for our next episode.